About Ursa, what did you ask about Ursa?
If Ursa dies, do you have enough damage on the rest of the squad? I feel like it's very important to protect him, kind of a thing.
I mean, sure, but Ursa shouldn't really just die, I feel like. So it shouldn't be a problem, in my opinion.
Just buy Ags, press ulti?
Yes.
Okay, what about the TL lineup? The Elder Titan Aura stuff seems quite effective at amplifying damage for your squad. Is that hero easy to deal with?
I think it's fine. I expected them to pick ET for Insania, so I think ET is a strong hero. It's a really strong laner. I think that's the biggest strength, and then like some late game memes where he gets like insanely strong, but if we play well, I don't really think it should matter that much.
All right, great. Good luck in your game.
Thank you so much.
Well, the analysts feel like it is an even matchup. The coach himself of Game of Gladiators thinks this matchup is pretty even. Now we're just going to see whether or not it plays that way. The opening game of this upper bracket final since TI last year, where Game of Gladiators eliminated Liquid. This Liquid with 33 is 9-6 against Game of Gladiators. The regular season has fared pretty well for them, Avery, against Game of Gladiators, even if it hasn't gone as well as last year.
But does it matter if you lose here?
That's true.
Does not. So get those useless stats out of here, Austin. Because we are once more facing down the European... I don't know, what do you call this matchup?
The Euro Derby?
The EU Classico?
Don't like that one.
Okay, well, we'll come up with something better.
We'll work through it as the series progresses. We'll find a good name for it.
Could also be the series no one wanted to see, but you're forced to watch again. Could also call it that here. Get that out of the way. As these two teams have a long history at this point, and I will say it feels like in all of those important matches that have happened over the last 2 years, it's Gaimin that have come out on top, especially a lot of those grand finals, right?
Yeah.
And this is a really important match for Liquid to regain confidence with this new squad. As Gaimin try and get a first blood here with a nice flank.
Yep, Sandwich 33, there's nowhere he can run to, so he just outputs as much damage as he can, and Insania comes in with big spirit damage. We'll be able to get one counter kill and does some heavy damage to both Tofu and Quinn before he gives up.
Such a good facet in the early game.
Yeah, seriously.
Especially these multi-hero skirmishes. But first blood to Gaimin, and it does go to Jirachi. So Quinn did not get it. A little sad about that. But Ursa gets some extra gold to play the lane with. Which is pretty nice, because I think, for me, the biggest hero I'm looking at, I mean, maybe in this series, honestly, the support duos here. Both these teams want to play fast. They want to win lanes. They want to snowball. They want to get the auras up really quickly. I think everybody who's been watching this tournament kind of understands what both these teams are trying to do. I think they're the two fastest teams in the tournament by far.
Yeah.
And a lot of the slower teams have been eliminated as we go farther and farther down this bracket. But what do you do when the two fastest teams play each other? Well, for me, you're looking for really small advantages and trying to eke those out. I think the drafts are pretty much even. You're not going to get a big draft advantage in this series. It really comes down to early game execution and what you can build off that, which is why I'm looking towards these two support duos and how much they can create in the laning phase, especially, particularly Celery on this Enchantress. I think Chen and Ench are pivotal supports in this series matchup overall.
Yeah.
And if you get your hands on one, you need to make sure you get a big impact from that hero so that you can maintain that threat. Because you might play each other again in grand finals, right? And you need to start establishing these threats as real and not fake as soon as you can. So this Enchantress, I think, in the game one, really looking to see how much Celery can get done on this lane and with the roam potential.
I was particularly surprised that Liquid took the Nyx Assassin because of that fact, because we're talking about two very fast teams. We saw how sometimes the Nyx Assassin just ends up in against these ball lineups and can't really do anything, but in this matchup specifically, Nyx against Enchantress, right, this mana burn is supposed to be a lane counter to the hero, right, just being able to instant kill the creep.
I think the creep is part of it, but I still think Enchantress can just outlane you. Just a strong laner. You're not good at dealing with Enchantress roaming to the runes or through the gate, these types of things. Nyx is kind of static in that early game, and his damage is pretty low even on the turnaround plays.
Where are you going?
Your best bet is to pull waves, get the beast strong, maybe stack ancients. Just create a big enough of a threat that this beast is going to get insanely farmed if you don't stay here with the Enchantress. I think that's like the best box he can cope for. If you do get to kill some creeps and slow Celery down a bit, you're going to be happy with that for sure. And you got a little bit done early. You can also just start nuking the jungle and remove that in the later pool.
Yeah, that is true.
But this first blood is going to go a long way here because you already have boots plus Orb of Venom on the Ursa.
Yeah, that's just unfair, man.
Yeah, it really is. And they're going to feel it with this double melee offlane. I mean, Boots Orb of Venom versus double melee offlane is every carry player's dream right here.
33 does not get the Lotus. He tried, now he's going to have to TP away as Dyrachyo continues to use that Boots advantage, whether it's chasing down the Nyx Assassin when he's trying to pull, or in this case, threatening the Beastmaster.
This went all the way to base.
Yeah.
Expensive TP for 33 here, as his laning phase is looking real rough.
Yeah, and if you're doing all of this like pulling shenanigans on the Nyx Assassin, it also means you're not doing as much stacking, which is a problem for the Beastmaster. Beastmaster can, of course, stack for himself, but he hasn't managed to do that yet.
This is going to be a struggle. This wave is also massively pushing in to Gaiman right now, so they're just going to auto-attack some of these creeps, get a couple denies. Wave's going to be right in front of Dyrachyo's tower here as 33 comes back. He has missed a lot of early CS. This offlane not going well for Liquid. And this
Did you see them miss the Flag Bearer too? They impaled and axed for it, and both missed the last hit.
They're going to need some stacks for this beast. He is going to be in full recovery mode. And it's going to be a big point of weakness here in the early game. You know, I was thinking about this Enchantress roaming, but at this point, you might bring heroes to this lane just because they're so far behind, just keep abusing them.
Particularly since, if you want to talk about Enchantress Chen being such an important like key heroes in this series, in this matchup, I think the Beastmaster is something, both meta-wise and particularly with Liquid, something that you want to break with your game of Gladiators. You want to be able to show you can give up this hero and have an answer to it. And right now, the laning phase, they've certainly dealt a pretty big blow to the Beastmaster.
Been one of Liquid's go-tos, one of the heroes that gives them the early Roshan, so if you can break it, you break a lot. And you just can't walk up for CS. This feels miserable for Boxy right now. And this is why this Nyx Ench matchup, I don't care if you kill the creep. I think it's still really sad, because you can't contest it, and it just doesn't matter.
And they are not asserting the same kind of dominance in this bottom lane. Razor's doing fine, 25-5, but so is the Underlord. He's gotten a fair amount of CS out of this lane. They keep on trying to go for kills, and it looks like maybe they can finally get one. No, not good enough, and it's going to be the Elder Titan who dies instead.
Disaster for Insania down here. He was really putting in work over the course of his lane, but that Lotus Fairy Fire bites the bullet here as the lanes continue to be a sore point for Liquid in this early game, at least. Quinn also winning mid out slightly here with the Pangolier.
Oh, now Mickey in trouble as Celery goes through the gates and does indeed start doing a bit of roaming.
That's a really nice connection here. Super fast, very efficient. Creep's going to be missed by this Razor as well, as both side lanes just starting to collapse here for Liquid. And Dyrachyo's under no threat up here. This lane went way too poorly for Liquid to exert pressure as Ursa continues to free farm.
Well, if Liquid, their goal was to get out of the lanes unscathed, they did not achieve that.
No, and this is going to be a big turning point for the series. Now, these are two teams that snowball really well off lane advantage. They're both looking to accomplish that. So you got to look towards these small differences to make a big difference down the road. Opportunity is now open for Celery to continue and build some momentum for his team here. He's looking back towards bottom. We'll get scouted on a ward, but can Insania get out in time?
Gonna be able to bushwhack him and slow him down. Not much Insania can do here. He is caught.
And just king of the early game right now.
Yep.
Everywhere Celery goes, Liquid do not have a good response. Foxy's just lingering him out mid right now. Nothing to do there for him. And the Pango is making the move bottom. Will also get scouted by this ward on the Haste Rune. But again, can you get out in time?
Yeah, where do you go if you're Mickey? Because you can't even go through the gate and gank the Ursa. You're not going to feel good about that move.
Sit in timeout, I guess.
Yeah.
Think about your TP cooldown.
Hide in the jungle and hope nobody spots you.
I mean, this ward did do some work, but this is not a much better fate than just dying here.
Yeah. And he's still going to die.
Okay, so
maybe Nyx Assassin can come in and disrupt some of this one. Tries to go for the double stun. Only hits one of them. Ends up tanking some of the Acorn shot. That'll help. Slows him down with a Blood Grenade. Anything they could possibly... The problem is the Golem's going to die. Okay, the Golem punched them first. But then the baby Golems come out, and they turn their damage onto the Nyx Assassin, so they can pick up a double here, potentially the Ursa. Nice stun before he dies, but Insania, as strong as he is, cannot finish off any of these heroes. Maybe Nisha can, though, and a rage goes off. Stomp doesn't last for long, though. Dyrachyo shrugs off that disable, runs down the support. 3 dead in exchange for an Enchantress. Gaming Gladiators got to be very happy with the way this is going. The lanes went well, and now the rotations are going better.
Super happy with how that works out. This Ursa is powered up. He gets to join an early fight, help take this tower, kill the enemy carry. Liquid scrambling to make a defense around this tier 1, just not synchronized at all. And then you TP in a tiny, and Nisha doesn't even get a big core kill out of it. He just gets the Enchantress, who's probably happy to go back to base anyway. Gonna really have to look to this tiny to make some action happen. Get you back in this early game. It's having the best game of everybody on Liquid, and we have seen this hero be a bane for every other team that has had to go against Liquid so far.
They're going to smoke up to the Beastmaster, who pulled away with the boar. So they probably are expecting, okay, the Beastmaster's entirely alone. They end up getting a pick off on the Enchantress. Nothing major for Liquid, but something small to work with, I suppose. And I guess one thing about all this aggression in bottom lane does mean the Beastmaster has been able to recover some.
Recovery time for 33. Mickey isn't getting ganked by the Enchantress. That's the other upside here. Did slow down Celery, who was getting a lot out of this early game. And
oh, the boar runs into the smoke. Nisha breaks the smoke from the high ground as well. They did not realize where he was, I believe.
I mean, there's no real threat on Nisha here anyway. Got 1,500 HP.
Yeah, it's true. You don't have the damage.
Gaming maybe looking to pressure this top tower.
Yeah, they know the Beastmaster is recovering off of stacks, so anything they can to get information inside of the triangle.
Yeah, they would really like to collapse on some of these tier 1s and open up the ancient area. The recovery for Liquid, if you can take it away, it's brutal.
Which is why Duraccio is pushing in that top lane as well, right? He pushes in the top lane, that he can kind of cut over and help with some of this presence here.
They're putting a lot of pressure on right now. This is the strength of Enchantress, the early jungle invasion. Liquid need to respond accordingly.
Nice D-ward from Celery. Good read that Liquid is going to try and defend this as much as possible.
Gotta remember there can be a gate from the Underlord into this type of fight as well. Gaming have numbers they can bring, but unable to punch through, you're just gonna get some XP leached into the Enchantress here, but that's about it. Might even pay the price.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, they're going to run out of damage. Oh, gets him right before he can get the club in to maybe finish him off. And now Nisha, another round of axes, still not enough to kill Celery. In fact, 33 getting close means Duraccio is immediately going to pounce on that opportunity and take him down underneath the tier 2, perhaps. Looking through the trees, but Duraccio's faster. They'll catch him eventually.
Might even get Foxy at the tail end of it, and they will with the Pango chase down. I mean, that is just a very well-played bait here from Gaiman, knowing they have that gate Underlord to come through. Felt like Liquid almost forgot about it, thinking they have numbers advantage. But the second you commit in there with Tiny, the gate is fast enough to get your Underlord in there and lock him down. You don't have an ET ult to back you up in this fight. You don't have a Vendetta. Just not a lot of spell power to work with, and that Enchantress facet is... Man, that is a facet for sure.
Yeah, when you are ahead, this facet is incredibly obnoxious.
Those Crimson Axes, not enough to finish him off. 33 just had very little resources to play this fight anyway.
You know what's funny is I was going to praise Liquid for how they took that ancient stack in the first place. It felt like it was very controlled. You know, they weren't like over-committing. They're just chipping away with the axes and tiny combos. And yeah, they lose some of the experience, but then they get in their head that they want to kill this Enchantress. As you said, just got baited by Gaming Gladiators. Now, GG up 4,000 net worth lead, 10-3. And another rotation. That's going to catch Mickey. Nothing you can do about this one. A Rolling Thunder from Smoke. He knows it too. One more plasma field to see if he can get a last hit on a creep. Can't even do that much.
Just an easy smoke rotation. This Razor has nowhere else to go.
Oh, don't let those skeletons get to that amp damage rune. Yeah, they get it inside the bottle for Nisha. Liquid. They need anything they can to equalize some of the odds here.
Yeah, they need to get this tiny blink so they can start creating some threat on the map of their own. Right now, you're just getting pressured. You're getting pushed in. Top lane's in with the Ursa right now. He's threatening that tower. Gaiman are also pushing in mid. I mean, that tower's just gone, actually.
Duraccio is free to roam where he wants.
Big question is, how aggressive can Gaiman maintain their position on the map? How much can they sit in Liquid's jungle before they maybe fear this tiny blink smoke or the Nyx Vendetta coming up? Right now you still have a pretty big level advantage here, but there's the Vendetta. That blink is coming in soon. So as much as you're ahead right now, you don't want to give up too many free pickoffs here.
Soon-ish, Celery taking these camps away from the Tiny is pretty debilitating because you also have the triangle that's being taken away by the Beastmaster. So the Tiny clears out the midway, but then where does he go? He's like, all right, I'm going to go farm something, but there's no camps available.
Not the type of stack clearing with Toss we've seen in some of these Tiny games where your highest net worth and just cruising. It's been a slow one.
Smoke without the Blink Dagger.
It does not feel great.
Try and use the Vendetta to score a kill somewhere.
Yeah, you still have the Zamp damage room, so you are happy if you run into somebody here. Should be a guaranteed kill, and they'll scan out that triangle.
Have the scan. They're going to do a longer wraparound, really try and make sure they land this one. The Vendetta allows them to cut through the high ground here, and should be able to have it. They're going to use the Earth Splitter just in case. Want to make sure they can 100-0 him with no response from Gaming Gladiators. Maybe even take some of this Ancients.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Xania tried to go for the Wisdom Rune. Good read by Dyrachyo to be there in time.
Maybe a little bit of the Ancients. You can defend this tier 1 mid. You're going to be super happy on the side of Liquid about this sequence. I don't think Nisha wants to go back here without the blink, and Quinn just right-clicks it down. Damon actually make the most of losing their Underlord on the map. Finish off the last tier 1 here. Going to completely open up Liquid's side of the map. Really open up these Ancient areas. I mean, Beast did get his recovery out of it. You're almost to the Ags.
Almost.
So big items trying to be aligned here. Side of Team Liquid.
Yeah, Gaming Gladiators have done such a good job of just like forcing these item timings. This Blink Dagger, this Aghanim Scepter, just 1 or 2 minutes later. Nice pick though.
There's
Playing
one.
around a ward, managed to get a Blink reveal toss back.
I mean, that's what's going to happen, right? You're going to try and play aggressive on Liquid side of the map. Eventually that item's going to come out. It's going to get somebody. You give up a support for it. Liquid's still happy with this. Will relieve a lot of the pressure. They get to deward that area. Gaming lose some control. Have to back up a bit. Big question is how much this Ursa's going to scale from this point onward. And you did get to your pipe first. Well, you got to your pipe, before this Beast Ags could just solo Roche or something. So you're going to be able to take this Roche away from the Beast with the strength of the Ursa right now. This is a big win for Gaming. This easily could have gone the other way in this game if Liquid had been the ones winning the early game.
Yeah, this feels like such a masterclass, like 1, 2, 3 step of countering Liquid. You beating them on the lanes, and then they invade the jungle constantly and take away all this extra farm to prevent the Blink Dagger and Aghanim Scepter timings. Now they take it away, that first Roshan, away from the Beastmaster. I mean, strategically speaking, this just seems like everything that they wrote down on paper of like what we need to do against Liquid, it's all working.
So far.
So far.
It's a matter of Liquid finding some moves now with the Nyx and the time. Like, these are payoff heroes in the mid-game. Can set up a lot of easy kills.
Gate to try and catch 33. They don't really need it. It's just backup here.
That's his Ags, man.
Boxy's lingering underneath the Sentry Ward, too.
Didn't even get a fight out of that Beastmaster item.
Nope.
Dyrachyo just playing hyper-aggressive right now. Does not care about anything.
They actually go for him here and take away the Aegis. Now, Boxy goes for a TP out immediately. The Rolling Thunder is going to stop that one, so they do trade the support for the Aegis.
That's probably actually worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, limit some of Dyrachyo's aggressiveness now that he no longer has that extra life.
Just make you feel better on the map right now instead of running away from this Aegis for 5 minutes.
He's got an Invis Ruiner to blink. He runs into the Ursa, does a combo, pops the Invis. And
need detection?
Yeah, Tofu's trying to catch up, but at this rate, they have no idea where he's gone to. Now they see him.
Gaming are still controlling more of the map, though. This is the problem for Liquid. If the pickoffs don't lead to you being able to farm more camps or get the lanes out, you're not really accomplishing much.
It is delaying the game, though.
A little bit,
Is
for
that
sure.
to Liquid's favor at all?
Yeah, more time for your Beastmaster to recover here. Look for that big fight later on with like the ET, Earth Splitter, Roar, bringing down a core target. For probably the Underlord, get rid of the auras, open up the fight. You can get some kiting ability on this Ursa, it'd be really nice. Yules and 4 staffs for Liquid would be really good as this game goes later. It will be Dagon build up for Boxy. I don't know about the Dag in this game. I don't know if the early game was good enough to justify it here.
Dire's top tower
Yeah, like
is
matchup-wise, it's very good against Enchantress Hoodwink. But
it lets you solo kill support.
play-wise, are you actually going to be able to find them, solo kill them? Because Gaming Gladiators, the way they are set up right now with an 8,000 net worth lead, it feels like they don't really have to split up very much. They can stay pretty grouped and just take objectives away from you. And they have the Underlord, which is really good at dealing with split push without putting your supports in.
Higher risk, higher reward item.
Nisha, a big kill. Gaming Gladiators hunt him down.
Couldn't get the blink.
Nice high ground ward to be able to spot that one. The Gate to be able to back it up. Now Rolling Thunder catching Heroes. 33 pops the Primal Roar. Earth Splitter's also there. They're going to do a healthy amount of damage, and Quinn actually dies. Now, of course, they're going to get caught for this. Gaming Gladiators is stronger than Liquid. So when it comes to these fights, they are naturally just going to lose more, but 1 for 2 in the end.
This Ursa is eating the map alive. Liquid do not have good answers for Dyrachyo the second he's on some of these big targets. 4-1-3, 170 CS. This Ursa is well ahead of Mikke, his counterpart here, and that is not good news for Mikke because this matchup is already not great for him.
And got him on the pit. He is not fast. And Celery is there on the other side. Insania trying to hit a stomp. Now, if anything, he's going to get caught as well.
Yeah,
now they're
hero.
leading out.
Dyrachyo just getting gifts under the tree right now as one after another, Liquid are feeding them to him.
Dire's middle
Liquid
tower
just
is
scrambling
under
around on the
attack.
map, trying to push out any lanes, but Game of Gladiators, they are just sprinting across the map non-stop. Fast-paced Dota, another round of spells that are not going to go off. Once again, going to get caught by the Tiny plus Nyx Assassin. He still managed to get it off. That shield crash hit 3, and now it's real bad for Liquid as the Rolling Thunder is a threat. Gwen's going to play a distance here, but eventually come back in, knock up 33. And now Dyrachyo just keeps on running at Heroes. Gets 1 kill, support lingers, finds another one. It's a bit of deja vu.
I mean, Dyrachyo is just taking this entire game. He is everywhere right now. Every single move Liquid make, they have to deal with this Ursa coming in. And they're not starting on the Ursa, which if you don't, there's no real way you're fighting him back. Just lacking the burst damage here on this play. I think they didn't get the Vendetta hit in.
For the extra, like, bonus magic damage.
Yeah, I felt like they should have had enough damage there. Just didn't connect all of it. I guess if you had that Dagon.
Yeah, if you had that Dagon, if you had that Phylactery, again, the early game and the timings there, just being slowed down by a couple minutes, has snowballed to so much more. It went from a 2,000 net worth lead to a 5,000 net worth lead to a 12,000 net worth lead. It's just how this fast-paced matchup is gonna go. Avalanche Toss does help the amount of damage. The next Assassin is almost dead, and Nisha is trying to go through the gate. It was his only way out, I suppose. Boxy didn't die, but Mikke getting body blocked up a little bit. And he's going to need a big impale from Boxy to survive through this situation. It's just not going to happen. Boxy is still lingering, trying to go for Dyrachyo, which 33 does manage to get that kill. He pops out, gets the Enchantress. They get 33 and Boxy. The two of them just go in, find their man, take him down. In the end, it's a 2 for 4 though.
Definitely worth the Ursa kill, but still pretty much disaster of a team fight for Liquid. They just have no answer for the Gate coming in behind these fights. Giving the aura presence to this Ursa, and the BKB already being done for Dyrachyo is huge there because he didn't have ult. Used it to kill that Tormentor, take it away from Liquid, and still able to save him from some of the burst damage coming out here. You already have Crimson done on this Underlord. He's gonna have Mech as well. You already have triple aura online. Team fight is so difficult unless you can start on heroes with the Tiny and displace them or get that burst. Was a big streak on that Ursa that did go to the Beastmaster. 33 happy about that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the gold exchange at the end. Despite it being 2 for 4, it was actually kind of close because Game of Gladiators is so far up in net worth. The kills were worth almost twice as much.
I'm not opposed to taking the occasional bounty.
I just don't see this Razor having impact in this game. I don't even know what you're really trying to get to here for Mickey. I mean, you're going to get BKB, but it doesn't help you that much.
Yeah, you're
You don't
still
have,
going to get demolished by the Ursa all game long, right?
there's no good Link targets. Like, that's part of the problem. Linking Ursa's kind of irrelevant. Linking the Underlord is, you know, good in the early game if you're snowballing off killing him or something, but it doesn't really matter in the fight other than giving you some damage. You can't link the Pango.
Gotcha.
It definitely felt like a focus on lanes and that they didn't win the lane.
Yeah, and now this pick is really suffering. I mean, Ursa's just going to eat him alive.
With the Basher before the BKB is even up. Boxy also has a little bit of a problem here as well. Breaks the smoke. Nice. Goes for the kill on the Hoodwink. Will he have the burst damage? He will not. Now he'll die for it. He was willing to take the trade-off.
That's the problem with the Dagon buildup when you're behind.
Yep.
Heroes are just too tanky. They get above your threshold, and then every time this happens, it feels worse.
I mean, Tofu's even holding on to like a raindrop. You know, just kill that a little bit. Let's watch these bear rotations from Duraccio. He has been all over the map, man. Got this tiny kill, Beastmaster. Look at him go. Literally
Yeah, that
took
is
the map over twice in a row.
that is probably not a ideal farming rotation. I'll tell you that much. An ideal farming enemy hero rotation.
Yes, I mean, he farmed a lot of heroes in that.
I'm sure there are a lot of carries who would look at that pattern though and go, "What is this, man?"
Hector would be furious about that.
Oh, he is furious right now.
That's not how carry's supposed to move.
Haste.
They know they're here.
That is so
A
unlucky
stomp
for 33.
is going to land. That might just be able to bail this out. But the Prime Roy's actually looking kind of good.
Okay.
Ursa goes off, gets Quinn down to half. But Tofu and the rest of Game of Gladiators will make sure that it doesn't all turn bad for Game of Gladiators. They trade 1 for 1, which is great for Liquid. But again, they are too far behind to, even when the opportunities present themselves, they can't get that much out of it.
Still another huge Ursa kill. It is worth a lot of gold here.
Is under attack.
Well worth the exchange. Very unlucky with the blink in right as the Pango blinks out, but you end up landing the stomp, so 100 to 0 that Ursa, no BKB, no enrage.
Radiant's
Could be a game you think about that Ursa Ags, but he's just going to go the Ocarine build. You always can get the Ags off the Roche later anyway.
It is more time for Liquid. Game will stall out every single time these Ursa deaths happen. Though not stall that much out. They still take the tier 2 bottom lane. But you can see Liquid's on the other side of the map, farming up, getting their items. Just the question of, is there a point where they'll be able to turn the game around with this kind of deficit they're experiencing? The Nyx Assassin and Tiny this far behind, will they still be able to burst heroes? Nyx Assassin has clearly shown struggling to be able to do so. The Tiny, who's building towards that phylactery buildup, maybe?
If you get Conda, I can see the Tiny burst these supports for sure. A couple more spells.
Moxie's got Vendetta, so should be able to skedaddle.
I mean, you can play for the high ground defense here. Just like playing for that in this state of Dota feels so bad when you're giving up all these Roshans. It's way too much network. These two supports for Gaiman can also just scale into cores if they really want it.
Yeah.
Just get a Hurricane Pike on this Enchantress, start building Gleipnir on the Hoodwink here. Be really annoying in the fight when the BKBs go down for Liquid. I think you can make something happen during this Razor BKB duration. Doesn't die too fast. There's no BKB piercing lockdown on the side of Gaming Gladiators, so in theory, Mickey has 9 seconds to do whatever he wants.
Through the gate they go,
versus
Duraccio hunting. And if that had been an Ags on the Underlord, they would have caught 33 at the gate, landed right on top of him. Still, though, the Rolling Thunder is going to catch up to him. A great pickoff because he was just about to complete a BKB. So he'll find that item. Delayed,
Ruining his time.
delayed.
I love how Ace is always just planning these gates right where people are walking to, trying to get them to like misclick the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Stand there. It's really annoying. This will open up the high ground. You have all those auras completed. He is thinking about that Ags as well. Would be interesting in this game. Nisha does not want to come back. Did finish the Conda.
He did.
There's no wave for Gaiman.
Yeah, he's going to go cut another wave here.
Liquid making the most of this group up.
One-shots it. And he doesn't blink TP. He sticks around for another wave, which might just get him caught by Quinn, who is going to be lurking here. What?
Dire's middle tower.
What are the chances of that? That was insane.
Yeah, that is...
Quinn blinks into the tiny toss, the frame that he tries it.
Dude, I wish we could have seen Quinn's player cam for that.
Dire's middle
Oh, yeah.
Because Nisha has 0 reaction, but you know Quinn had a reaction.
And the funny part is, if he doesn't hit him, then Quinn could have used roll up and Rolling Thunder and probably had a decent chance of catching Nisha out on the map. And once the Tiny's dead, I feel like Gaming Gladiators are